Hi, I'm Robert Schlide, Chief of Police for Shelby Township, and welcome to Straight Talk. With me today is none other than a superstar Deputy Chief, Mark Coyle. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chief.
Mark,
Happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you. We're here to talk about something that's very dear to both of us. It's an award ceremony that we put in for our people back after we took over our administration. And what does our award ceremony mean to you? Why did we put it in place to begin with? And talk about the evolution of the ceremony.
So historically, officers go out and they do their job. And historically, I've been here 30 years. I'm in my 30th year. Recognition for hard work wasn't always paramount. It wasn't something that previous administrations took upon themselves or felt the dire need to do. They were sporadic. There was no program in place. It was just kind of, if you were fortunate enough to have a really good supervisor write you up, maybe you got an award. One of the things that you did when you came here was identify talent, identify people that go out and work for you. And you and I started talking from the beginning about promoting those who work for us. And we did that by awarding them for their efforts, recognizing their efforts.
We started in the boardroom. We didn't invite anybody on the officers and their families. And now we have a big ceremony each year at Palazzo Grande. Talk about the ceremony itself and the event and what it means to the families and the officers.
So that was your vision too. It was about really celebrating so that families could see what tireless dedication looks like, what consummate public servants look like. Many of our employees and many of our officers and all of our employees come to work and they tirelessly go out and do their job. And their families don't really see what they do. They may hear about it or we promote it now. The Palazzo Grande is an event that has grown every year since we've done it. We have enormous amount of turnout. We recognize the hard work and effort of all of our people, from our civilian, our non-sworn to our sworn, to our commanders, so from rank to file. What we really do is we showcase or illuminate all their talents.
The name Gene DeAugustini, what does it mean to our community, our police department, and to you?
Well, Mr. DeAugustini has been a consummate advocate of the police department in my entire time that I've been here. He's just paramount to the success. He alone is the individual who sponsors our event. And through that, we're able to, showcase the hard work and dedication. Mr. DeAugustini, like I said, is a partner of ours. He's an individual that we welcome and we think the world of.
He's a community leader. When we went to ask for sponsors, I think he was my second or third call. And I was looking for basically a nominal amount. I was going to divvy this up among 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. And he said, "What are you looking for, overall?" And I told him. He said, "Don't call anybody else." He said, "I'll handle it." And it just showed his commitment to our community, our police department. And he comes to the award banquets himself with his partner, and they have a great time. And something I'm very proud of, and I love our partnership we have with Mr. D, and I know you do also.
Absolutely. We talked about it, about the evolution of it. Gone are the days that we kind of did these things after hours in the boardroom or off-site, and we kind of gave these awards just kind of almost in secrecy. We didn't really broadcast it to the world. I think most people would be amazed at what is asked of our officers and how they respond, what is asked of our personnel and how they respond. We are fortunate enough to have a staff that is second to none. We are fortunate enough to have great people that go out and do great work every single day. And this awards just recognize those efforts.
It's easy to talk about what you're going to do or talk about these ceremonies, but what we've been able to do is make everything actionable. So one of the things that we did together is we put in the Chief's Coin of Excellence. You want to tell the viewers about our Chief's Coin of Excellence?
So one of the things is that we wanted to take outside of just our award ceremony. We wanted to recognize those individuals, sworn or not, that do outstanding work for us and the community. Because let's not miss this. We are public servants and we work for this community. So everyday officers go out, civilians in records, whether it be our fleet coordinator or our cadet, They go out and provide a service to our community, and when they do well, you recognize that. How do we recognize that on a daily basis? That's the Chief's Coin of Excellence. That's identifying something that someone has gone above and beyond. You always say, I don't give this coin out, you must earn it. And that's the big thing about our awards ceremony. We don't give awards. They earn their awards. Every single thing is fully vetted. It goes through an awards process. You have to be nominated. It is reviewed and then signed off on by a panel of people. These aren't just given to people. They earn them.
Yeah, you earn them. That's the key word, DC. Another thing we've been able to put in place, actionable, was a Chiefs Award. We didn't have anything like this before, and basically it's an award that I personally can give out when I see exceptional work done. Now, I've been a chief for almost 6 years now. We've given out 10 Chiefs Awards total, but one of the incidents is 5 awards went out for one incident. It's when we caught a murderer that murdered somebody back in Warren back in 2016. So in all reality, we've only given out the award 6 different times. Now recently, based on your recommendation, we were able to give one of our lieutenants, Bill Wiley, a Chiefs Award for his role in helping develop our tactical response unit. And you came to me and said, Chief, I think we should do this, and we did it. We made it happen. You want to talk a little bit about Bill and the award and what it meant to him?
Well, I mean, it was a no-brainer. If there was ever an award that I felt that needed to be addressed, it would be that. And I said in his award, when I wrote it to you, is that, I mean, he really took his subject material expert. He's a subject material expert. He took his knowledge and his expertise, and he built something from the ground floor. That's not easy.
One of those doors, she doesn't know which one he went into.
That's not an easy task. He identified talent. He picked the most qualified individuals to be on this unit, this tactical response unit. He bought the highest and vetted the highest caliber of equipment. He trained them to the highest standards, and then eventually brought us to the consortium, and now we are a member of the Metro Macomb SWAT Consortium, which wouldn't have happened without his focus, leadership, dedication, and vision. If he wouldn't have done those things, we wouldn't be part of it.
When I went to give Bill his award based on your recommendation, and also we gave it to him in front of the Macomb County SWAT Consortium, and it was a surprise. Bill didn't know we were going to give him the award. There was about 150 men gathered around. A little bit nervous myself, 150 macho men around there, the best of the best, and Bill had no idea. So I called him up next to me, I read the award off, and when I went to shake Bill's hand, Bill grabbed me and pulled me and gave me a bear hug. And I could tell he was really affected by this and meant a lot to him.
Yeah, Bill and I spent time on this Macomb County SWAT team together. He's a humbled professional when it comes to this.
One of those subjects ran across the back and then went into a different part of the building.
This is his expertise. I had given him no insight that I had written him up for the award. I didn't even speak about it with him. I wanted him to be surprised. But once again, I want to circle back to what I said before. We didn't give him an award. He earned this
100%.
award. So and what makes this award a little bit different, the Chiefs Award, this Chiefs Award can be something for an isolated incident, like you said, working to catch a murdered subject, a murderer, or in his case, this was over an extended period of time.
It's not anything to be afraid of. If you have the right safety equipment on and you know the effects, you can easily operate from under the effects.
It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of external variables, and every single time that he was given a task, he met or exceeded the expectations by us. So I'm really happy for him, well-deserved, and I couldn't, like I said, there was no hesitation in recommending him for it.
And you did a great job with that. Switching gears a little bit, obviously our award ceremony, very important to both of us. Recognizing our officers, very important to us. Each year we highlight and give Commander of the Year, Officer of the Year, Detective of the Year, and Civilian of the Year awards. And we put that in a place together, something I'm very proud of, and we take it very seriously, you and I. And we go in our office, close the door, burn the black smoke. Nobody's allowed to come in or enter until we decide who's going to get these awards, and then the white smoke comes out, and they know we can come in and it's safe. And this year, for our Command Officer of the Year, we recognize Sergeant Robert Heisler. Robert is in charge of our Special Investigations Unit. I'd love to show a video of Robert or whatever, but we can't do that. I'd like you to talk about Robert and what he does to the department and his value that he adds.
Yeah, Detective Heisler is, I've had the luxury of being able to supervise him over his career. Probably one of the most diligent, hardworking detectives. I'll tell you an anecdotal story about him years ago before he was a sergeant, just to kind of give you an insight as to who he is. There was an individual that I was a young sergeant. He was an officer, and he was investigating an individual, and the individual wasn't really being completely forthright. And without hesitation, he took command of the situation. He basically told him, "I'm not intimidated by paper. I'm not intimidated by a search warrant. I'm not intimidated by the lies you're telling me. I will go handle this, and I will make sure that you get locked up." That's the dedication that he's had from the day he got here to now as to the special. That's why he's in charge of our special investigation unit, because he has no fear in doing the right thing for the right reason at the right time. His mission and objective is to take bad people and put them in jail, and he's been doing it his whole career.
He does a great job with it. Our next award is our Detective of the Year, and that went to Phil Young. And once again, he's somebody, he works in a special unit, and we can't show his picture or anything like that. Talk about Phil and what his value is to our department and why he won this award.
Well, again, he's an individual that I don't think that there's a complete isolated incident over the year. I think it's the body of work, and it's not by happenstance or by luck that Sergeant Heisler and him are together in special investigations. They're a dynamic duo. They work extremely well together. I would like to believe that each one of them has contributed to each other's success. It's the combined efforts. Detective Young is a talent unto himself. He's a talented officer. He's hardworking. But realistically, when you combine him with Sergeant Heisler, they're unstoppable. Like I said, on numerous occasions, I've seen them in your office. You give them their marching orders, and they're out the door. And before the end of the day, they've brought resolution, or they've taken the person that we're looking for to jail.
These guys truly represent the word synergy, and you add in their other partner that they have, and their individual parts equal a tremendous amount higher. You can use a fancy terminology.
Yeah, I say it all
so.
the time. I always wanted to be part of something that was grander than myself, and that unit, Special Investigations, like our tactical unit, our traffic unit, each individual that are hand-picked for those things are exceptional in their own right, but collectively they blossom. So the sum of the parts become greater than the individual parts, and certainly with Detective Young and Sergeant Heisler and Detective Vila, that Special Investigations unit, which we will grow in the near future here, is cooking on all cylinders.
We've given another award out to a young officer, less than 2 years on a job, Officer of the Year, Nick Sinishtai. We'll show you some video. We'll show the audience some video of what my thoughts on Nick are. But I want to know what you think of Nick and the value. This young man, 2 years on a job, he's an Albanian American. He speaks Albanian, and we have a huge Albanian population here, and the value that he adds to our department as a young officer.
Well, one of the things is you and I, and I think there's another individual that is kind of being overlooked right now. Captain Schmittler, myself, and you identify talent. We identify things, and we hopefully develop that talent. One of the most difficult things about young officers is creating a desire to do good work. You know, they're that initiative. And Nick brought it from day one. I mean, he came here with the idea that I'm going to go out and carve my path in this profession, that I'm going to go out and do great work. Not that our other officers aren't. I mean, you and I sit with Captain Schmittler in the room, and once again, every one of these people who have earned these awards were nominated by somebody. We didn't pick them. They were handpicked by a commander, a fellow officer, somebody within the agency who recommended them for these awards. Nick earned this award because he's a hard charger. His desire and his competency exceed his time on the job.
Let's take a look at Officer Sinishtai. Police Officer Nicole Sinishtai has been awarded our Shelby Township Police Officer of the Year Award. Officer Sinishtai is a machine. He's out there on a daily basis making stops, keeping our community safe, and specifically, he's looking for bad guys.
When I found out I was Officer of the Year, I was honored to when I received that phone call from the chief saying, "Hey, Nick, I really want you to, I chose you to be Officer of the Year." I felt honored and privileged to have been chosen to be Officer of the Year.
He's caught multiple bad guys. I see it on our commander's log, and I get a smile on my face. This kid is the real deal. And I say this kid because he's been in a job less than 2 years, and I'm in my 34th year, so no offense to Nicole, but what he does on a daily basis, he's getting guns off the street. He's getting parole absconders off the street.
Palms together, like you're praying. Palms together. All right, making me nervous over here, man. You're shaking, you're making all kinds of... Hey!
We had an incident where a guy tried to, on a traffic stop, he wouldn't pull over, and Nick was speaking with him, and next thing you know, the guy tried to drive away. Nick ended up getting him out of the car, had a wrestle with him.
Dispatch, I'm flying with one.
Got him under control, got him handcuffed. It's not easy wrestling a grown man one-on-one when you have all these rules put in place that the law has handcuffed us with. Nicole did a fantastic job in that situation, and like I said, he continues to impress me on a daily basis. I'm very proud of him.
Go ahead, you can call detained. One detained.
It took me off guard, and I was like, wow, this guy's really trying to run on me. This is what you see on cops. So it took me a second to realize what was going on, and I managed to pull him out and take him to the ground, and where he was later handcuffed.
Since he walked in the door, his work ethic has been outstanding. He's got a true motor on him. He doesn't stop. He's almost like the Terminator, this kid is. So God help any bad guys he encounters. He's a very impressive young man, and I'm extremely proud of him.
There's all kinds of officers here. You got all different types of personalities, but when you bring them all together, we form an excellent team. We don't strive to be the best department. All of us together are the best department, not only in Macomb County, but in the Tri-County area.
As you can see, Officer Sinistai is a rock star, and we're excited to have him on our staff, and his future is very bright. Deputy Chief Coyle, next person I'd like to discuss is Civilian Employee of the Year, Ron Mix. You've worked with Ron for the last 18 years. Yeah. We'll show some video what I think of him. What do you think of Ronnie?
A little insight there. Ron has been nominated, I think, every year. I think every year that you and I have decided who was going to get Civilian of the Year, and it's very, very difficult. Ron is commitment and dedication to our agency exceeds pretty much everyone in the building. His ability to do multitude of things. We task him with a litany of things, but specifically, I think this year was just the transition from our in-car camera system and our body-worn camera system. He spearheaded something that multitude of moving parts, multitude of IT and technological things, whether it be in the car or in the body-worn system. He tested and evaluated them. You gave him the responsibility and the task to vet all the vendors out there and come up with recommendation. So this year it really was the year that he truly earned it. But I over his 18 years, we could have probably picked any year and given it to him because of his talents.
Ron Mix is a special man, special employee for our police department. Let's take a look at some video we have of Ron. Ronald Mix has been selected as the Shelby Township Police Department Civilian of the Year. Ron has been here for over 15 years, and he started off as the fleet coordinator. He manages our fleet of 50 vehicles. He does an incredible job.
You can't help but be excited to receive an award like that. You know, it's everybody loves praise and recognition, and I think for me, having the recognition of peers and your supervisors, it just means a lot.
Oh, the units can slow down. We're all set.
We're able to purchase a very complicated in-car camera system for our vehicles, along with body cameras.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm taking a look at this thing.
What's going on with it?
Doesn't work.
Well, Ron was in charge of the body cameras and the in-car camera system. Problem after problem arose with the new in-car camera system. Ron, almost on a daily basis, was ready to pull his hair out, but I never once heard him complain about everything. He was a machine. He got Mike Gray involved, and between the two of them, getting guidance from Captain Schmittler, they got the system up and running.
Anytime we launch a new project, such as bringing on body cameras or in-car camera system, it's a big undertaking to just make that change. There's a lot of growing pains that goes along with it, and this was a This was not just new as far as equipment, it was new as far as we never had body cameras here. And so that was a unique challenge. And
no, but he's got a crack pipe and he's trying to smoke it.
it's exciting, and I count it a privilege to be able to be part of the cadet program and do what I do. I don't take that for granted.
One of the most important things that we did since I've been chief is put in our cadet program. I would tell you it's probably the jewel of our department because it's our future. I put Ron in charge of this program as supervising the cadets on a daily basis. It got some pushback from some people on our staff originally because Ron isn't a sworn police officer. Okay? However, in leadership, you can't always do what's popular. You have to do the right thing. To me, I never wavered off my decision. I knew that Ron was the right man for this.
Just having a hand in seeing young people grow and mature and just being part of the whole process. I mean, it's the beginning stages of their career, and so I would hope to be able to just influence just a single part of what they do. If I can just influence them in some little way, again, I look at that as an opportunity, and that's what I try to do.
One of the most impressive young men I've ever met in my life is Ron Mix. I can't use words to describe the respect that I have for him. He bleeds our police department on a daily basis. There's nothing I wouldn't ask him to do. He has as much or more integrity than anyone I've ever known. He's an extremely intelligent young man, family man, dedicated like I've never seen before, and I want to hug him when I see him on a daily basis. As you can see, Ron Mix is a dedicated employee to our township, our police department, and very valuable asset that we use. Deputy Chief Coyle, we couldn't have our award ceremony this year because of the coronavirus. What are we doing? What are we going to do in the future?
So we looked at everything, and with the entire executive staff, we said, we got to do something. We just can't put this off. It's too important. It's part of our legacy. It's what we're doing. So we decided we couldn't have our big ceremony at the Palazzo because of the coronavirus. We're going to do 2 individual ceremonies at our station, obviously social distancing. So we're going to recognize our staff for the awards that they earned next Tuesday and the following Tuesday after that. It still affords our family the opportunity to come and see their family member recognized. It allows us to tell the people, our employees, what a great job they do for us and that they're value added and important.
Yeah, we've been struggling with this all year, trying to do something for them, and every time we find a way to do something, we get our chopped off at the knees. Yeah. So this was a great idea that you had. Let's recognize the shifts, bring them into the Sally Port, keep the door open, so they're outside, and let's do this. And I think we have around about 100 people signed up for the 2 dates.
Yeah, and ultimately, you and I have to really give a lot of the credit to our executive staff between Patty and Wendy and Michelle, because they do all the heavy lifting. Yes. They do all the organizing. They make sure that it all gets done. We get up there and get to kind of give the awards out and take a little bit of the glory, but I think that our executive staff did an amazing job.
They did, and I thank you for mentioning them. But I have to tell you, it's my favorite time of the year. I love giving the awards out. I think it's the most important thing that we do is recognizing the great work. Yeah. And we both have taken on that together. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome, sir.
Much appreciated. You've been watching Straight Talk with Robert Schlide. We'll see you next month.